Hey guys, so today's video I was thinking, what have I been talking about lately? So guys, in today's video I thought I would just freestyle this little session. I don't really have any gear or specs or anything to talk about, but I was looking at my channel as a whole, and I was looking at the state of my Instagram, I was looking at my social channels. To give you a little bit of background, about 2.5 years ago I decided to pivot from the advertising industry and stop being a mainstream advertising creative director. I needed a break. I needed to shift, and I became a client. It was quite a difficult journey, and it was quite a big step after 20 or more years in that space to completely pivot and jump into a client-style role. In that time, it gave me some ability to pause. It gave me some time to think, and it made me more conscious of my craft and why I first got into photography and why I first got into advertising and communications. And the gear that I love shooting with was starting to become a prerequisite required by super high 4K, 8K filming, and it was starting to become very robotic and very boring. It was becoming very advertising. As part of this journey, I've discovered how to take it a little bit slow and appreciate and enjoy the craft, enjoy the art. And that's what I wanted to come to talk about today. This video is a little bit of a ramble, but when I was looking at my channels and I was looking at my Instagram, I was looking at my TikTok, which I just started, and I was looking at my YouTube, which I neglected for so many years. My channels are a mix of a lot of experimentation, and lately my YouTube channel has become it's become a place of self-reflection. I kind of like that in a way because it reminds me of a point in time and a mindset, and it reminds me to actually appreciate what I've got, what I'm doing, and look at it from the positives. And that's going to sound weird because outwardly a lot of people that have worked with me and know me think I'm a positive person in a way, but I'm very negative within. This is not a kind of psychological, philosophical kind of regret video, no. It's just the way it is. So what I found, and what I found very interesting about my photography over the years and the type of art direction and creative direction that I've helped instill to other brands, is that I shoot a lot of contrast, advertising more into the darks, and I like the drama in my photos. Cool. But the gear was getting in the way. The gear was starting to become the thing that I was aspiring to, as opposed to the print, like this big master print behind me here. It's this massive canvas, which is one of my favorite photos taken with the Leica ZQ years ago in Perth. One morning, and a 24 megapixel is not supposed to, or apparently according to social media and online, a 24 megapixel sensor is not supposed to print that large, or at least the influencers have you think, some of them, not all. So firstly, thinking about the gear that I've got is perfect, don't need anything else. The gear that you've got is perfect, don't need anything else. There are incremental updates to a lot of camera gear that's happening nowadays. And there are some great things happening, like the good old Fuji GFX 100 RF, BF, CF, DF, whatever the hell that's called, medium format amazingness. Those 100 megabyte files are going to be ginormous. I can see Apple and I can see all of those cloud storage guys laughing. They're loving it because they're thinking, oh yeah, that's the way. Let's make a 200 megapixel sensor, because at each of those file sizes exceeding 250 megs or whatever it is, that 16-bit dynamic range and other things like that, man, you're going to be chewing through hard disk space like nobody's business. Just take a step back. Is that super megapixel camera something that you really need? I shot with the Sony a7R5 and the Sony a7CR for the longest time, and I did a really, really big trip. Specifically, I got the camera for my Japan holiday with my family, and with the intention of doing street shooting, which I took so many photos. Then I used those cameras for all of my commercial shoots overseas in Europe for client projects. And I just chewed through memory and SSDs like freaking no one's business. And it made me think the output that I actually needed these photos for, I didn't actually need super ginormous files for that output. And with the miracle of artificial intelligence and the ability to upscale to a certain degree, I mean, Adobe RAW always had a level of super resolution back in the day, so the pioneers of upscaling, I guess you could call it. I just found I didn't really need the megapixels. So this whole kind of megapixel war, which is partly perpetrated by the camera companies to have an incremental update, to have us aspire to want to buy something, to own something. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, you know, that's consumerism. That's the way the world works. And, you know, that money goes towards innovations and further product enhancements. But what I'm just questioning is, do you really need it? Because I certainly did not. As you know, recently I've come to find a home with the Nikon system. I've never, ever, ever shot Nikon in my life. I started with Canon and I moved through many of the different camera systems. The Nikon system, for me, specifically the ZF, is fantastic. Not because it's retro, because it's got a bit of metal. I like metal, got metal in my teeth, got metal in other places. I like some metal, I like some quality. I hate all that plastic crap. Some of these cameras and lenses have got more plastic than in the damn ocean. So I don't really want, like, I'm spending money, my hard-earned money and savings on a piece of equipment that I really enjoy to use, and I want to enjoy it. And for me personally, might not be for you, but for me personally, I enjoy a good bit of metal, or composite metal, or whatever they're putting in these cameras nowadays. So the ZF, you know, apart from the superficial need of having something that's a little bit more metallic, it gave me the ability to have a camera with all of the settings that I can configure manually without having to go through LED screens and other junk. If I have got a customizable top where I can fairly much set it and leave it, I can configure my photos, my black and white, and my video at a switch of a dial, which is what came from the Sony system, which I really like. I've got some really good lenses. The 40mm f2, which I'm filming with now, is an annoying plastic lens for sure, but it renders beautifully, and I absolutely love that lens. And I've shot with the 38 1.8 S-line lens, which is a fantastic lens. I've shot with the 50. I've shot with a lot of these lenses. They're good, but they're big, and that's the problem with the Nikon system. The lenses tend to be big. I found I'm happy shooting with the 26 2.8 pancake lens without the little addition of the hood. I like the 40mm f2, which I'm shooting with now, and I also have the Nikon 28 to 75 f2.8 lens, which is fantastic. And the last lens I own in the Nikon system now is the 28 to 400 f4 to f8 variable aperture lens. Slower at night, but gives me ultimate reach. I've got a faster one for video and a versatile zoom if I needed one lens, and I've got two fun lenses with me. Perfect system. If Nikon made a Leica Q Fuji GFX 100 RF style body, not in the medium format, I don't need medium format, but maybe a higher, or even a higher resolution version of the Nikon ZF, damn, I would be straight in, I would be like all over that. But as you know, I'm shooting with the Leica Q and I really like that camera, and there's nothing wrong with that camera, even by 2025 standards, apart from its average autofocus and its outdated I/O. It's got micro B and whatever other ports, whereas the addition of USB-C ports on these cameras nowadays is fantastic, and that's what it just needs to be, that seamless connection that I can get between my phone, my devices and everything. It's a good step in the right direction. So anyway, back to the point of the video, which is my videos have become a little bit more of a retrospective and a gathering of thoughts and a relaying of those thoughts to help either with gas or to share some insights on some of the lenses or some of the older equipment that I'm using that I'm actually going back to. And the catalyst for that, or the start of that, was all due to the fact that I took a step back from all of the hype and all of the crap, in particular in my job being at the cutting edge of stuff in the advertising space, not technology. Taking a step back from that and reevaluating what's important to me as a creator, as my primary line of income. What really am I trying to create? What am I trying to do? What do I enjoy? out of photography and filming that's different from my day job of being a director, commercial director, and these other pieces that's the day job. Like, there is a synergy between the two, and whatever I learn in photography and latest trends can be applied to the advertising world. But again, when the two start to mix, one starts to become less fun. So again, this is a hobby as well as a career. I'm very lucky and fortunate to be able to say that as an individual in 2025. And the last thing I really wanted to say about this particular video, or these thoughts that I'm sharing today, is that I really appreciate all of the comments and questions and the participation on the channel. I neglected my channels for so long, like YouTube in particular. I never really posted much or never really shared or created videos. It's only due to, well, recently just looking for another angle and trying to kind of reinvigorate and refresh the creative spirit that I've had for so long that I've rediscovered YouTube, rediscovered, well, not Instagram because they've just destroyed that platform, but TikTok, interesting, got cool stuff on there, like the interesting short form, the old school vines turned into TikTok, sure. And just the community spirit of reaching out and finding information or trying to have some tips or trying to look for a perspective on the new latest equipment, or is it really worth it, or is the Leica Q actually a good camera, or are you just overhyping that because you've got one, eh? So I find it really refreshing, and I want to thank you all for that. And if you do have any thoughts, you got any comments, you got any questions, if you've got any suggestions, by all means, please drop them in the comments. I am not the fastest to respond, I will admit, but I will get to it and I will try and respond. So that is all I really wanted to say in today's video. And as always, follow the channels. If you think this is useful, by all means, give it a like, give it all that other stuff that you're supposed to do. If you don't, it's all good. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your feedback. As always, keep creating, and I just hope it helps. Cheers.